Hello, welcome back to another episode. I'm going to start off today realizing that this tree I planted before is growing branches, so I can actually put more pips there, ultimately producing more eggs. So I will wrangle 3 of these pips, wrangle adults, so as soon as they get there, they can start to eat and then get groomed and start producing some more critter eggs. It's very important that I tend to these eggs, because I want them to be filled up in these with stables. So I have 2 stables for these things. This one's actually cuddled. It's going to get the lullaby effect. I'm only doing the hatch eggs right now because all the pip rooms are full, or going to be full actually. If I can let Rancher out, I can wrangle these critters and get this filled up with 6 pips. On the research side, doing a rover. I'm going to build a rocket eventually. But we have to get a scientist up here and look at the skies and figure out where an asteroid is. Happen to know that there's one here already. I think this may have been one. There was one somewhere. But this is the first one that I'll be visiting this location. I will want to get some metal because I'm on a metal poor asteroid right now. Last episode built this spot here for my dupes to put polluted water. So hopefully once they have some time, they'll do that. And I'm going to watch this carefully, and you'll see how I manually just pretty much button closing this. But I can essentially get all the water here to have food poisoning removed. Currently, that is the case in theory. As long as the dupe doesn't screw me over and flush, I actually can, because I see this water does not have food poisoning. For the moment, I could click that. That's going to, okay, well, in slow mode, maybe go a little bit faster than that. So now the door is closed, water can go out of it. I could even, if I wanted to, disable this just to be safe. That's pretty much how it's going to work. Oh, here comes some polluted water on the way in, so this may not be fully drained. Let's see how quick does that door. I don't have that door powered. I'll just turn it off now. Because what's going to happen, I'll show you. This goes through this machine, that cleans it, sends it over here, so that's water. That water may have food poisoning though. Yeah, you can see that. This is in an area with chlorine, so that's going to kill it off. And then I could send it out once that goes down. Now it goes out of here and goes into the main system for water use. And it's set up so that uses this water at priority, meaning that it'll use this first before it touches this cache water, essentially recycling the water that goes through there. That is really awesome. Just wanted to mention, I did this playthrough while I was on an airplane, just kind of killing time, and I did a lot better with food. I'm a little bit worried at the moment. I think I'm going to be fine. I think I'm okay. We'll see how all this goes. But last time I played through, I got very, very lucky with the acorns. The pips were just finding them in all the tree branches very early on. I think I had 5, where I only found 1. So I found 1 and planted it right there. Or is that the one that was even next to it? Has a pip even found a single one this time? Maybe not. Because I'm heavily focused on these guys anyway, maybe it won't matter. But I did have a lot more pep, so I think it was in a better situation food-wise. But as long as I get the carnivore achievement, and the real thing, as long as I don't have to use the incubator after all the stables are filled up, then I'll be happy. So yeah, I was just really lucky last time. It takes a while to find acorns, and it just seemed like within this cycle 20 or something, I had almost 5. All right, enough of that. Let's look at skill. So I gave out crop tending. I'm not entirely sure what to give. You know what? We need more dupes that can dig through granite. Let's give that skill out. Lots of this. How much metal do I have? Because I might even want to build. That would be using over half the metal I have at the moment. Maybe I won't do that. But I almost want to use power because I have so much of this Speaking of that, why don't I build a metal refinery? I'll do that over here. Before I do that, let's dig down and get some cool water. So I know there's some cool geysers in the area, and the refinery needs cool water, or liquid anyway, so let's connect those two things. Just noticing the radiation when they're going up on the stairs. It's mostly safe, but these dupes are very sensitive to radiation, so why don't I go and add a bit of protection above this, and particularly the ladder. Can make that out of indigenous rock. Remember that being slightly better at blocking radiation than granite anyway. So I'll do that. Obviously they're going to be exposed to pollution while they're here, or radiation, but in the future when they're going up and down the ladder, there'll be a reduced exposure. I'm not liking the hydrogen either, but actually maybe, well, yeah, actually, in the last playthrough I even had hydrogen up here, kind of out of the way of the dupes. Let's do that as well. Just get it out of the way, and it's kind of building up like crazy here, so that'd be a good thing. C minor made their way down here, did a good job getting access to this. Now, before I actually dig this out, I'm going to dig an area for water, or polluted water is the case here. Well, I happen to know it's polluted water, Geyser, or cool slush geyser, but I want to dig this out because it's going to get wet and harder to dig out later. So if I do this now, minor will be cool, but at least they won't be wet in this area. Scientist is up looking at the stars, making quick progress here. Hasn't found anything yet, but they will. Even have this on a timer, just that once they start to get exposed to a little bit too much radiation, they'll know to leave this area for a while. The other thing is kind of decided to notice this got filled up pretty quickly. Now I think that has more to do with the fact that the dupes emptied polluted water. The dupes don't produce this much liquid in one cycle. But if I want to clear this out, a good time to do that is early on in the day, when I know that essentially the washrooms, well, sometimes they do use the washroom at odd times, so I guess it's not going to work out that great. I could disable this if I wanted to completely drain it out, but you know what, I'll just go as far as I can, letting this go down. And this is definitely going to be automated in the future. This is just because I don't want to use hardly any metal that I don't have to. Because I absolutely need to build a rocket. Okay, yeah, we need to build a rocket and say middle for that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say there. But this is exciting. Hatches. So the eggs. Oh, 3 of them. Okay, good. So where does this leave? Make sure that Rancher can go in and out again. 4, 5, 6, 7. That fills this one. And how many do we have here? I just need 3 more hatches. And I think that's it. I can forget about the incubator room. Or the incubator. Really, really good, good news for that. Alright, oh, I noticed I probably should have let them dig that out first. That's fine. I will just continue to get them digging out. Really appreciating the fact in this playthrough I chose a dupe that had very strong mining skills. I kind of thought in a small asteroid, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. But it does. It really just does. You want someone who can dig quickly on your team, especially early on in the game. Well, exposure here to space. So just digging out this area here so that hydrogen can float up here, but didn't want to go in space. So high priority in getting my dupes to put in that. Let's have an inspection of what this here is giving us for protection. Actually, yeah, perfect protection coming up the ladder now. So maybe I want a little bit more here, so there's a tiny bit there, but yeah, that is much better from a radiation perspective. Just upgrading some flooring. So start with the washroom here. Doing this at high priority, so obviously you don't want to have the washroom inaccessible for an amount of time. And I'm going to do the same thing. So once the dupes are done here, I'll get them to go along the bedroom as well. And then we'll do the Great Hall down here. Oh, make sure, again, high priority. Oh, it already is. I don't want the dupes to kind of slowly do this, make a hole so that half the team can't get to the bedroom. The bedroom now actually has doors on both sides. Kind of interesting that, so they could get up around this water that used to be here that's no longer there. Skill point to be given out. Scientist. Give you the data analysis researcher skill. Maybe time to give myself more water. I could build showers. I'm wondering if I should do that. Have the tech for it. It's going to mean I'm going to have to watch this a little bit more, but I think that's something I can live with for the time being. Never getting a good break here during this thing, though. I'm not too worried about it. Let's put it. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is this ends up actually using too much water. I'll just disable them. Of course, how much metal do I need to build one of these 400? We'll see. I'll put 2 in. We'll see how that goes. Let's continue digging out this area, as well as actually maybe I'll just concentrate on digging down here. Otherwise, miner is going to go up and down the stairs, doing a section here and there. Let's just have them do all the spot down there. Get that polluted water vent active. And the earlier I do this, the more polluted water that's going to accumulate that I'll use initially for cooling a metal refinery, but that could definitely will have other purposes as well. Another skill point. Who is that? Cook. Let's give you either carrying, or do I want another granite cutter? Give you carrying skills. You can carry more stuff around. Let's try putting in a second shower. I'm adding a space between some of these so we can put lights in there. Though I'm not that confident I've got enough metal. So maybe I'll skip the lights in the washroom for the time being. But why not? Maybe I'll do this in the morning. Just upgrade the tiles here. So I'll get all my living area now has tiles. Now, I'm not really doing that from a decoration perspective, but they go 25% faster when they're on those tiles. So kind of a minor thing at this point, but that's the type of thing that I really couldn't do in the last playthrough. And the reason for it is my dupes I had one dupe in the incubator room all the time, and I had several dupes on the manual generators. Very, very different experience. And a large part of that is this thing, so that power control station that's there, which I did not do in my first playthrough. Another hatch egg. Okay, let's process. Oh, 2 hatch eggs. Let's definitely process those. So right now I've got one stable of just regular hatches. All the other hatches are up here, but I could put regular hatches up there as well. Definitely need to deal with that hydrogen buildup. Rancher is on the way. Let's process this egg. And the cuddle pip is also in there, so that'll give an extra 5% bonus to that egg when they have time to do that. Another skill point to give out. That's going to be ooh, the Menetronics engineering skill. Have I completed research for that? I may have. Yeah, awesome. So I can decide. I have no idea what I want to automate just yet. I have to be careful of that because that uses metal, and I'm a metal poor asteroid. But at least I have the option for automating things now. That is really nice. Just had a thought. So over here, obviously we're taking on a little bit of heat. That's okay. We can deal with that. It's far away from the base. But one thing that I would absolutely hate to happen if this would creep up beyond 75 degrees, start to cause some damage to this. So let's disable auto repair just in case I don't notice that. My dupes aren't going to continually put more metal into it and waste that. Speaking of which, I see some metal here that can be mined. So I'll do that now. Just wanted to point out I got the royal flush because I have all the outhouses removed in the colony. Well, I only have one asteroid, and I removed the one set of outhouses there to wash basins early on, so I didn't have to do that everywhere else to get that achievement. Let's look at the carnivore achievement. Already 23,000 calories just from the pips, themselves. So that's decent, but it's really having the hatches now available. Still waiting for a few more of those, so tending to the eggs here. But happy with where we are at the moment. I see scientists discover a new planetoid. Let's go take a look. Remind myself some of the geysers that were on that one, because I don't remember. Oh yeah, natural gas geyser is there. That's going to be good for cooking. Gold volcano, cobalt, iron, and copper. Lots of metal. Of course, I'm not going to want to touch the volcanoes. At the moment, there'll probably just going to be enough metal to dig out on that asteroid, as I recall. So I'll get perhaps scientists to keep looking around to see what a couple more things are around, and we'll quickly build a rocket. Let's see the progress down here. Oh yeah, I want to build this. This is going to be pumped to pump up the polluted water. I want to put this in now before it's wet, just to make not the end of the world. I see what happened here. A critter. I did have one pip that was walking around, planet these things. Not really an issue since all my pips currently are safe in cages. So I think I can pretty much just ignore that. Oh yeah, rancher, sorry I trapped you in here. Let's get you processing some eggs, because I haven't completely filled my hatches stables just yet. So I have a cool slush geyser that is free to dump out cool slush, and because I know that's going to be coming, that's going to produce polluted oxygen. I have some deodorizers to deal with that before it gets up into the base. Now I think it's time to start digging up here to get a little bit of relief from all this hydrogen that's been building up in this area. But I think metal refinery will also help, because if I increase the amount of power that's consumed, well, I'll increase the amount of hydrogen that's consumed as well. And I do need a metal refinery anyways, because I don't want to use the rock crusher. Well, I don't have a rock crusher anymore. That's good enough, because that essentially wastes half your metal into sand, whereas the metal refinery doesn't. So this happened. These two tiles are extremely hot. I did not see that. Now I've got steam at like 100 degrees. I think it's time to go back and reload and see if we can avoid this from happening. So I just went back 2 cycles, cycle 53. And yeah, it's still there. It's been building up now because liquid is not sitting on it. It's not interacting terribly. So what can we do? It's going to be pretty easy, I think. I just need 2 tiles here built at high priority. If things go bad, as in like liquid dumps in here, I will go back to cycle 52 instead of 53, but we'll see if this works. So having these 2 tiles built, and now I'm going to have those under it dug out. And miner hopefully will do that at high priority, of course. Miner, you're going to dig that one? Yeah, no, I'd rather have you do this for us. There, so that's a vacuum at that location. Vacuum at that location. Phew. All right, I'm surprised that exists, because there's a cool abyssalite underneath that's just kind of bizarre. But okay, yeah, that definitely needed a mini rewind. And I'll go back and redo some of the things that I did in the last 2 cycles since I went back. So I'm covering the cool salt geyser, salt slush geyser. It's going to produce some brine in this area. So hopefully it's going to drain a little bit in this little section at the beginning. And then I'll get miner to dig out down here where it can fill out. So I'll start to collect some cool polluted water and some cool salt. Who is idle? Several idle tubes. So let's get building the next thing. So I just gave out a skill to miner. Give them the building skill, or improved construction 2. And scientist has discovered another asteroid over here, which I'll get to someday. That has its metal pour, a lot of metal pour here. Cool slush, chlorine, natural gas, another natural gas, that's kind of nice, and hydrogen, and minor volcano. So working on building a metal refinery over here. It's just about to destroy this pump and then build a new one down, and I realize it's a lot easier if I just build 2 tiles here. So now I'm just getting the dupes to bring in a cool line in and the hot line out, going out of the metal refinery. Don't have a lot of liquid yet, but that'll change. But eventually I'll be warming up this liquid. Not so much that I want to warm it up, but I need to produce something in the metal refinery instead of a rock crusher. And that produces a lot of heat. And I do want to be careful of these guys here, because they don't like positive temperatures, anything above freezing. So I'll aim to still warm things up, but keep these guys happy so it's in the freezing range of temperature. This moment I have all my hatches in the 2 different stables. I have a pip room full of 6 pips over here, and 3 more full of 3 each. So I no longer need the incubator. That can just be ignored. At least that's the plan. Calculate that I need at least 8,000 calories consumed every day. So really hoping, I've got some meat in here. How much is in the store? 6,000. That's going to be cooked to barbecue meat, increased even more. And all these eggs, let's see, maybe it's easier to see over here. 33 pip eggs, 5 stone hatches, 5 regular hatches, sage hatch. So just let them in there, slowly hatch over time. And the pip eggs are already such that pretty much every cycle, it seems I'm getting some of those guys, and then the hatches will come online soon. Somebody is stuck and not happy. Let's go save operator. I'm not being alone. Unfortunately, that's creating a little bit of a mess, but we can deal with it. Should we sweep down here? Eventually that'll find its way over here. Gotta look at processing or opening this up at some point, but I'll have to wait for the germs, food poisoning to die first. So this may seem strange from my last playthrough, but I'm actually having the incubator room destroyed. Partially, excuse me, just because I want to get some of the metal back. But I also want to convert this into another purpose, which I'll show in a little bit. Just realized I have some leach stone, it looks like. I want that to be stored somewhere so it doesn't turn into any more chlorine. Put that right here. To build this at high priority and get my dupes to store chlorine. Or not chlorine, bleach stone. So I need another dupe to pick up the meat because rancher's not always available. So I'm gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna say, chef, you can go in, but I'll have to make it so you can, excuse me, so you can't go
into the top area. Otherwise, they'll keep going, picking up eggs and dropping it in an infinite loop. So the actual metal refinery is in existence now. Now I only want operator to be the one to go in here. So I'm going to specify that here. I'm going to say no one else can go in, but operator, you can go in. Wait a minute, I don't have power. Yeah, that would make sense because I turned that off. Maybe I'll temporarily enable this. Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely need to enable this. Now that we have no power, there's no ability to pump anything in, apart from the manual generator. That was the only way to round it. So what I might do now is actually change the location of that pump. I'll keep this in operation for the time being. So back to here. So the hydro that is a tune-up, so that's producing as much power as this has. So I'm going to make 16 units. That's going to be enough for 2 rocket platforms. I may need some more, but for now I'll just do that because I'm going to build a rocket platform on this asteroid and the asteroid that I want to travel to. And because the only dude that can go here is operator, I know that it'll essentially be done as quick as possible because they are. I think it's still plus 13, may even be higher now. That was not where I was looking for priorities. If I go over to operator, yeah, oh, excuse me, 23. Just noticed this little piece of chlorine. Thinking of going into this this thing here. Is there any way to make this go false? Yeah, there we are. I want to turn this off. Someone has to destroy this for me, otherwise this will take a little bit of damage. Not the end of the world, but I'm on a metal poor asteroid, so I don't want to take my chances with that. So we have a new air pump or gas pump up here for hydrogen. Destroy this one. But hydrogen is still building up. But now that I've got the metal refinery running, yeah, let's disable that building. We don't need to do that if we get that. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. That's right. So I'm gonna make that go at 99 as soon as the power drops a little bit, and hopefully we'll start consuming a little bit of this excess hydrogen that's building up all over the place. So scientists has looked as far as they can from a telescope on this asteroid. So it's now time to build a rocket. I'm going to build that up high enough to have a clearance from a future solar panel that will be underneath the rocket platform. So I'm doing some renovating in the old incubator room. I'm going to have a spot here filled with water and trap some critters underneath there so it will automatically convert to meat. I even relocated electric grill over here with an auto sweeper so that meat will make its way into this as that conversion goes on. So I want to be careful to continue to remove critter eggs from the ranches or stables. Okay, that old one. So set that up now. Perfect. So I'll temporarily have this, but I'm going to have some conveyor loader automation such that I can specifically put them at this location behind a door. So they can't leave. I'll flood this area here. And that means I won't have to attack any critters. So I'll just let the cuddle pip stay around because they can cuddle some of these eggs. Give me a little bit of quicker hatching process. Operator with their Minitronics engineering skill is just about to build the conveyor loader. Now disable this. I'll say any critter eggs can be now dropped off here, high priority of course. And that'll store them under here. Now the only disadvantage is I'm realizing that the cuddle pip won't be able to get access to the eggs to add their little bit of hatching improvement skill to give out Rancher. What do I give you? You already have carrying. Let's give you building. All right. A little nervous about the overall carnivore achievement. Let's go look at that. Let's see, I'll try the search thing. CAR. Carnivore. So, okay, I'm a fourth of the way there. 300,000 calories left in 30 cycles. It's this last time I experimented with this, not my recorded video, but I was in a much better position. I might just be crawling on the carnivore achievement. I'm fine with it as long as I don't need to use the incubator. I've already destroyed the incubator, so that option is, well, I mean, I could rebuild it, but it's more the fact I don't want to operate it with another dupe. We shall see. The next episode will be the sort of conclusion as to whether I make it or not in carnivore achievement. Calories are quite low at the moment, so producing mush bar. This is the first time I've produced mush bar in a very long time, so that's kind of interesting. Let's look at the general health of the base. Lots of oxygen. We've got 2 new geysers producing cool liquids, brine and polluted water. So I've got a cooling line that's going up and out from the metal refinery. The metal refinery is, anytime I want to convert something to metal, I don't have to waste half of it. That's very important. Let's see, temperature. It's getting a little warm in places, but I think we're fine. Gas, I brought up, that's right, the hydrogen generator, or not the pump for the hydrogen. That's now a little bit higher. Disease is looking good. We removed the polluted water that used to be here. It's now being converted over here. I'm even operating this every so often, such as this moment, sneaking out some water. And just make sure that I have all the rooms that I have, my great hall. Still have 96. These are probably the 2 most important ones. Check that they're 96. Now that I've got 6 in here, let's do the same. That's also 96. That's good. And I think that will do. Just notice that this has run out of water, but I've already built another one over here. So that is set to go. Just watch this drain out, and I'll see you in a future episode.